This is Dianne Andrews in Black and White. The issues you don't want to talk about. The arts and entertainment you need to know. And now here's your host, Dianne Andrews.
Hi, thank you out there, audience. My name is Dianne Andrews. I'm the host of Dianne Andrews in Black and White. And I want to thank you for being with us today, outside audience, inside audience, and YouTube audience. We're being seen all over the world on YouTube. We look at the statistics. In fact, I just had a show with someone from Baghdad, Iraq, a Shiite Muslim. So keep on watching us, and we'll keep doing those kinds of shows you want to do. I just started a series of All About Kids, which I did a show on that a couple of weeks ago. But I started a series in October, my entrepreneurial series. And in that I had the CPA from Falk and Winkler, and I had a guy, Herman Lanier, who came in from Seattle, Washington for his Lanier candies. And I tell you, if you haven't tried it, you have to. He's a Godiva of brittle. So today, I wanted to talk to somebody who's #1 in America. And so who would that be in display advertising or billboards? Digital, it would be Lamar Advertising.
Well,
and thanks for being here with me.
It is my pleasure. Thank you.
This is Garth Roberts. He's the VP and General Manager of Lamar Advertising. I think you started there in 1991.
Yes.
And but Lamar started in 1902 with Charles Lamar and another guy, but Charles Lamar ended up getting the company, right?
That's right. It was actually a very, very interesting story. Charlie Lamar lost a coin toss and ended up with the billboard company.
By losing a coin toss. So this was supposed to be the bad thing.
That's correct. That's correct.
And that
it's
shows
a great
you
story.
what marketing and advertising can do for a company and his own company and advertising.
Absolutely.
Because he took it to the next level. And you're, again, #1 in America and have a franchise in Canada. You work in Canada now,
yeah, we have our interstate logos, the food, lodging, and motel, hotel.
And you're at the airports too, aren't you? Do you?
We have just branched off into that. That's correct.
Yeah, I thought I read that.
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
So they're getting bigger and better. And I told him, you're #1 in America, right? He said, yeah, for right now.
Well, the U.S.
So, yeah, the U.S.
We're
Not all the
rest.
Americas, but the U.S. But they're working on to be #1. What a brilliant idea in 1902.
Yeah, it's and I'll give you the quick version of the story. Charlie Lamar had a partner, and they bought an opera house. Well, they spent all of their money on renovations and were ready to open and had no advertising budget. So what did they do? Knowing everybody in town, they went to Joe's house, Susie's house, Uncle Tom's house, and put little billboards, small signs in their yards to promote the opera house. And as the opera house grew and the billboards became more plentiful, as partners, sometimes you see visions different ways. They decided to remain friends, but to dissolve this partnership. And so they flipped a coin.
Yeah.
And the winner was to get the opera house, and Charlie Lamar lost.
Oh, my goodness. So the opera house is long gone, I'm sure.
It is indeed.
And so he had the business with the vision, and he had the vision for the business.
That's correct.
Which was so very smart. And that's really, sometimes our businesses grow out of necessity. When you see a need, they had no money, so how can I get this done? How can I get the word out? That's really what advertising is about. How do I brand myself?
Correct.
You know, I was with IBM before. I was an executive with IBM, and I used to be in marketing. When we talk about in marketing research for IBM, well, we would call customers, we would do surveys, and see, are we selling the right thing? I don't know if you know, when I got my MBA, we did a case study on Coca-Cola. You know, the Coke we have today, about 15 years ago, I think they changed the original recipe of Coca-Cola. And it was going down the tubes fast. And what they did, they had a focus group, and they let them taste the new Coke they had developed versus Pepsi Cola. But what they forgot, let's see about the old Coke in here too. So they liked the new Coke they had developed better than Pepsi. But when it hit the market, they didn't like that new Coke better than the old Coke, and they left that out of the formula in their focus group. So in focus groups, when you call, it's part of marketing strategy. You call people in and you have them test a product, or you may see it about politicians. They do focus groups a lot on. You have a candid room where you talk to people, ask them questions, and see which way they're going. A lot of people, I call it advertising and marketing is what I call this show. But really, we're talking about advertising today, which is a part of an entire marketing plan.
Correct.
That's just a segment. What would you say that your advertising does for a customer? I'll tell you, I'm a customer. Two
yes, you are.
I have with Lamar Advertising, and I appreciate this one. Troy Roberts did really looks good. Our sales manager over there.
Yes, it's a great question.
Trey, I called it. Did I say Troy?
You said Troy.
Yeah, I meant Troy. Troy was just on my show. Another Troy.
But if I had to think of one of the most powerful benefits of outdoor advertising, and let's face it, all advertising is good. Right. Even bad advertising is good.
Get your name out
there.
And
we've seen that over the years, especially in the political arena.
Oh yeah.
But
even Bill Clinton now with his mistresses, I guess that was good advertising.
Oh, he's still getting the advertising on there.
Right, yeah.
But branding, but top of mind awareness. When I think of one of your businesses, and I don't know if I could say that.
Not the name.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm in healthcare.
That's exactly right. I would have choices. With your billboard, you're creating a constant presence, a reinforcement to your other advertising.
Right.
And what that does is when I'm thinking of healthcare,
right.
I think of Dianne.
Right.
And so that's kind of our key role. Does one medium do it all? Impossible.
No.
You know, we have different driving patterns. We have different needs, goals. We go to church, different places, work. But the billboards are an affordable way to maintain that constant presence. But the synergy of your entire marketing plan and your advertising plan is what really is effective.
And what I have found and see a lot here we're filmed, of course, here in Baton Rouge, but again, most of my guests are not from Baton Rouge. Right. And we talk to guests all over the world and all over the country, people fly in and drive in for Dianne Andrews in black and white. And what thing I see here, being from IBM, I don't see people understanding the power of advertising in this city. And I don't know, I must be wrong because...
part of what we do and part of how we train our account executives is we are marketers. We want to teach you and help you reach your goals. And if we can sell you a billboard in the process, great.
Right.
But we're certainly no New York.
Right.
We're certainly no Atlanta and some of the bigger top tens. But we do have a very, very loyal following. And it's not because they like me or they like Trey.
Right.
It's because it works.
That's
and so I'm very proud of that.
Because you're the Vice President General Manager of Baton Rouge. I know you went to Lafayette for a little while.
I was in Lafayette.
And you came back home as a Vice President General Manager of Baton Rouge. And Baton Rouge is a fast growing city.
This is home for me. It really is. It really is.
And I've read some great things you've done. You work in the community diligently, doing charities. What's your favorite that you work with? Or can you even say there's a favorite charity?
Oh, really? And that's they're all my little children.
Right,
and I wish I could do more. And I actually sometimes you even get spread too thin. But how do I single one out? But I'm very proud of the Crime Stoppers board I'm on.
Okay.
As a criminal justice major, it was right up my alley.
Right.
And I got involved with that about 10 years ago when I moved back. Sid Newman is the president of the Crime Stoppers. And he reached out.
The police chief was just here a couple of weeks ago. We did a show with his second time on Dianne Andrews in black and white.
Yeah, good. Yes, and he's on our board as well.
I thought so, yeah.
But Sid, there was a program he worked with at LSU about facial recognition for a death or a homicide years ago, where they find a body years later, and LSU was a cold case. Yeah. LSU was able to kind of reconstruct this is what the person would look like. That's right.
I saw that on television. Yeah.
And so we put these billboards up around Louisiana. And this person that no one knew who she was, unidentified, was identified through the billboards. And when that happened, Sid said, all right, let's really get serious about this. And so the digital billboards were becoming of age at that point, and we partnered with them, and we've got the Amber Alerts.
Yeah.
We've got the anything that is law enforcement. We're ready to go on a moment's notice.
One thing I always one question I had was when a person who's a sexual abused people comes into your community, especially a child molester, don't they have to let the community know? Is that a part of Crime Stoppers, or is it
no, not so much. Not so much.
Okay. I know that they do have the alerts.
Sure. Yeah, they've got to register.
But I talked to some people because I'm thinking about doing a show on it, and I saw these people who had done sexual assaults, and they lived in a friend of mine's community. I don't know how they informed them, because you can find it if you go in and look for it. But if you don't look for it, I don't know if they let you find it.
It's scary.
You all can see my billboard, Dianne Andrews, in black and white. You see it on your screen. That's my digital billboard at Bluebonnet and Airline. When I first met with Garth about this, he and Trey, and he said he was kind of really liked the show and was really profound about what the things I'm doing here. He said, but nobody knows about you, Dianne. And and said this will really help people to get to know about you. In fact, I've had somebody I was talking to this morning. I saw you on Bluebonnet Airline. I really like you, so I've had at least 4 or 5 people, and that's only been up 2 weeks.
Wow.
That I know who told me it's such a great location, and we're going to move mine around Baton Rouge to to hit all the locations.
That's it.
So I really appreciate Lamar for helping get this done and helping get the word out here about Dianne Andrews and Black.
Well, we appreciate you.
Well, it's a mutual respect.
That
and
is.
I will have to say, now tell him about my book, Third Man Out. He read my book.
Oh, I did. That's good. It's a good read. It's a good read. I almost texted you.
You should have.
That's right. Are you sure this is fiction? It was just. I was
Well,
right.
I was with IBM, so Destiny Morgan was some of Dianne. It was just like John Grisham. We start off writing about what we know. Yeah, but I wasn't adopted, and I wasn't in the witness protection program, which all those things.
It was very good.
Yeah, so
wonderful.
I've written a screenplay, and we're going to try to do a movie on that. In fact, I had 3 women in one of my shows today, and everybody was writing a screenplay. So
I will say this, though, for your watchers out there that may not know you or maybe tuning in for the first time, she does not stop. It has been a pleasure getting to know you over the past several months.
I really, I was up at 3 o'clock. This is, and we do a full day of taping for sure here.
Yes,
and I have a board meeting with my other company tonight after this.
There you go.
So God has given me the energy of a 2-year-old. So I appreciate it. Thank you, God. Thank you, Mama, for watching out for me up there. So what things would you like to tell the audience? Anything else about Lamar? And I know what you do and all the organizations. Do you want to mention any other charities you work with?
Sure. Because, like I said, they're all my babies. That's right. Well, thank you. I'm involved with. And there's been so many over the years, but the ones that I'm currently with and have been with for several years is Louisiana Council for Economic Education. Just an incredible organization. Our president is Laura Smith, and she may have about half your energy, which is more than most people I know, because she doesn't stop. And for the small budget that we get from the state, it's amazing the work we're able to do.
Well, if there's someone you want me to highlight that wants to come on the show,
wonderful. I will keep that in mind.
We like to shine a light on great organizations. So you can give me who you'd like for me to bring on the next taping, and we'll get them on.
I will certainly keep that in mind, and that would be wonderful exposure.
You've grown Baton Rouge, because every large city has a vice president and general manager, the way you're organized at Lamar Advertising, right? And how much have you grown Baton Rouge since you've been back?
Oh, my goodness. I think when I came back,
it was 03
in 03. I moved back in 03. I spent 2 years in Lafayette and 4 years in Tyler, Texas. And I guess that I hate to mention our revenues, but percentage-wise, I think that we've probably grown Baton Rouge in 10 years by about 25 to 30%.
That's a great.
And a lot of that is
the economy going down.
Well,
in
the
some
economy,
of those years.
08 was a tough year, and I think some of the other Lamar markets and certainly some of the other major cities kind of started to experience that in 07 when we were still doing great. I think it's kind of like the fashion trends. Baton Rouge, is the last to know. But it did hit us last. It was tough. Anytime you even have to consider laying off one of. Now, fortunately, we didn't. We were able to tweak some other things and didn't have to do.
How many people work for Lamar in Baton Rouge and around the country?
Well, we have our corporate headquarters are here. I have 33 employees at my shop, and then we have Lamar Graphics, which is in North Baton Rouge on Beaumont. I want to say they have about 100 employees there.
Oh, wow.
But company-wide, we have 3,300 employees.
Wow.
And when I started 25 years ago, we had every salesperson in the company at my shop for sales training. We couldn't even begin to do that.
Today. Now, was Charlie Lamar from Baton Rouge? Because as you said,
Pensacola.
Pensacola, Florida. So how did the headquarters get here?
Well, that's a great question. We moved here in the 50s, but Charlie Lamar had a daughter, and she married Kevin Riley Sr.
Oh, okay.
And so through that, and really Kevin Sr. was so instrumental in our development and our growth. And then he
visionary.
passed. Absolutely. And it just has continued with his family.
Yeah.
And Kevin Riley Jr. Was our president when I started, and his brother Sean now is at the head of the company. And
so it's like a family affair.
Say this, we went public in August of '96.
Okay.
And we are still, it still feels like a family-run business.
And that's a good thing.
It's a very good thing. There's not the red tape and the bureaucracy. And it's just, we give back to the communities we operate in, and we're very autonomous.
Yeah.
And we're able to get things done.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. When you can do that, you get things done.
That's right.
When you're at some big corporations, like turning an elephant around to, I will have to say, when I was at IBM, one of the things, IBM joint ventured with Microsoft, but they didn't take any of the profit or any percentage of the company. And they just, Steve Jobs just passed them by with Apple and the software. IBM had their own PC. And but they put their own software on that PC, and Apple kind of just, they never saw it coming out because it was a big mainframe company. IBM was, and still is, Big Blue with the big mainframes, but now they're #1 in the world for global consulting. But IBM is so agile and flexible enough, they knew we got to get into something else because we lost this market. They were in copiers too. People don't know that. They had a copying division. I remember that. I did. They had a copying division, and then they had but big mainframes, they couldn't see it. And sometimes people don't tell them, when you're that big, the CEO, what you really need to know. Maybe they don't see it either. All they can see is how many mainframes can I sell? Instead of where's it going? I need to put computing and communication in the hands of every user I can in the world. Have you seen that Steve Jobs movie? Because it was,
no,
I would never buy anything from him. Oh my God, what a monster. I did not see that. Just he was a monster.
I've heard that.
Oh, he was mean. Yes, Steve Jobs. I saw that movie. I have a BlackBerry, and they just came out with a new one, and I love my BlackBerry.
Yeah, you know what? I think my next one, I'm going back to the BlackBerry.
I'm going to show you my new one then. They just came out with an Android.
Well, I'm Android-based, but I like the old BlackBerry.
Well, they have the old one, but it's different. They call it BlackBerry Classic, and then they have the Android that they just came out with. BlackBerry Young to pay me for this advertising. But it still got the key. In fact, I've got it in there. I've got my purse. I'm going to show it to you. It's got the key because I bought one that was just touch, and I was zooming all over everywhere. I couldn't, you know, and it takes more time. They found that the Quigley board, which is what they call the BlackBerry board, is 30% more productive than a non-keyboard.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. So, anything else that you'd like to say?
Well, we're proud of our digital billboards. Lamar has...
They're beautiful instead of vinyl. Explain the difference in digital and vinyl.
Gosh, the way we've evolved. When I started, we were actually hand-painting the billboards.
Oh, wow.
If you and I met and we came up with a creative design that you liked, if it wasn't the 5th of the month, we're looking at next month before you would even go up. It was so labor intensive. And then the vinyl application came out, and the turnaround became a lot quicker. And well, we were pioneers with the digital billboards. We had the first one in Lamar Land was here in Baton Rouge on I-10 near College Drive. And after about 3 years, we kind of figured it out. And so we have continued to grow our digital, and the beauty about it is...
so smart, though, too.
Oh, well...
You know that. Now that you say that, I do remember late at night sometimes I'd be driving to see guys up on the rafters painting on those billboards. Yeah.
Oh, I could tell you a quick story about Kevin Riley Sr. I was a sales manager in Baton Rouge, and he was driving down I-10, and my phone rings. And we had one of these home health care, not home health care, home fix-it. I forget the name of them, but you know, you call them when you're doing your toilet goes out, or you need gutters. Anyway, this particular billboard design had mannequins all over the board. Some on the catwalk, some reaching over. And they were given the illusion they were painting or something. And Kevin Sr. calls me and says, God, you got some guys over there on I-10 at College Drive, and they're not hooked up. Yeah, safety first, God, they're not.
Oh, my God.
I said, those are mannequins.
Oh, my God.
Oh, okay, carry on. Good job. He was
That's
incredible.
Great. They look real.
He did not stop, and I'm so blessed to have been touched.
He ought to do an undercover boss thing. That would be fun for him to go and act like he's one of the guys out doing the old vinyl ones.
And it really is.
Have you seen that show, Undercover Boss?
I have, and I like it. I do indeed.
Yeah, I like that.
But they're just very family oriented. Yeah. They care about our employees, and I think that
and you give back
with family first. And I think you see that, and it carries on to our customers and it's relationships that's been the success, I think, to Lamar.
And I think to a lot of businesses, at the end of the day, it is about building relationships. At IBM, when I was there, I was always concerned, not what that sales plan said we need to sell, but what does this customer need us to get to him. And if you think about that, you'll be successful in marketing and advertising all of your life. What does the person really need? Not what you need to sell.
That's it.
What he really or she really needs. Well, it's been a pleasure.
It has been my pleasure
meeting you. My hands are cold, but I'm warm-hearted. I'm anemic.
I know that.
Okay.
There you go. Well, thank you for your time and having me on.
Thank you, Garth, for coming, and thank you for all the work we do together and what you do in the community. And let me know about someone who can come on.
Indeed, and anything I can do.
We're going to be right back after this commercial with another segment. Thank you, Dianne Andrews in Black and White.
Order your copies now of Dianne Andrews' latest books, Third Man Out, a suspenseful mystery by Dianne Andrews, and Gumbo for the Heart, 25 stories of faith, hope, and charity, both available now on Amazon.com.
Your host of Dianne Andrews in Black and White, a statewide program and on YouTube. Watch us. You'll see an HIV positive person's journey. You'll hear us make a telephone call to a Shia Muslim in Baghdad, Iraq. You'll also see the vice president of Lamar Billboard Advertising come in and talk about how advertising can make you more successful. Come on and watch Dianne Andrews in Black and White. You'll be happy you did. Thanks for coming back to Dianne Andrews in Black and White. As you see, I've changed my attire and I've curled up my hair. So we've got a different look here for the person that I'm interviewing today, which is Frederick Sargent. He is the operations director for Electronic Media Gulf South. Thanks for being Gulf Coast. Thanks for being here. That covers 6 states, mostly of the Gulf Coast region: Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and Florida, right?
Florida,
and Florida. So Fred is an old guy when it comes to marketing. He's been doing it about 20 years. He graduated from LSU, born in Alexandria, but now he lives and graduated elementary school in Baton Rouge. So he's really a Baton Rouge native, pretty much. But he's got a very interesting product. And as you know, this is part of my entrepreneur series, and this is part of advertising. We just had the first segment of the show was with the vice president of Lamar Advertising, which is, of course, displays outdoor billboards. And Fred does some of that also. He's using walking billboards, and that can be inside or outside. And he's also doing advertising e-blast with the electronic media. And you are reaching 3.2 million people on your e-blast, I think.
Coast, yes, ma'am. Through all our databases.
So tell it, all your databases that cover, when those 3.6 million, every email you shoot out is hitting about approximately 3.2 million people. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
We have it broken down a little bit more
by
focused
state?
in that. Well, by city, by state, by religion, if you only want religious information, if you only want information in reference to jazz concerts and reference to urban concerts, elected officials and voters. So we have the different categories that you could actually target to, similar to the post office.
Okay, so what if I wanted everybody? Like this television show, we're doing some e-blast. I want everybody. Do I get everybody?
We could send it to all, or we could send it to just a very targeted, because some of the businesses that we deal with are only localized.
Right.
So with those guys being localized, they only want to market in a 10-mile, 20-mile radius.
Right.
We can narrow down.
Doesn't do them a lot of good, but me being statewide, and then we go to YouTube also, so everybody can see us all over your 6 states.
So something like that definitely needs to go to the masses.
So tell me, how did you start this, Fred? You graduated from LSU with a degree in marketing, I think.
Yes.
And for 20 years you've been in marketing.
Yes.
And you've been doing this 12 years, I think you told me.
Yes. I started off in radio.
Oh, okay.
Doing radio, doing sales. And as time went on, I realized that I wasn't as effective as I thought I could be for the clients I was dealing with, because we're doing radio. So I moved to the Houston market, teamed up with some guys there, and we started doing email marketing, basically trying to do electronic flyer distribution.
Okay.
And once we got all that going on, I said, man, well, this is cool, but I got a little more ambitious and said we need to do this a little further.
Right.
When my partners didn't think so, I thought so, so I went a little further with it. And, we just been going on since then and growing the databases and doing electronic flyer distribution, which is a little bit different from the standard email marketing campaigns that most people are used to.
How is it different?
Well, we don't do a lot of like newsletters, things of that nature. We literally send your flyer to this database. Our first contract was actually for going green, because we didn't do no paper. We were all electronic, and then we started getting into other green products, like our flying billboards with the drones.
Now let's talk about that. That's something, who would have thought, right? We hear about drones, and there's some good and some bad of drones. They need more legislation. As you said, you've been working in Washington to come up with safety regulations, because kids are flying drones around now, not just over in Iraq and Afghanistan. So tell us about, real quick, what you want. Do you want to give a website out, and do you want to talk about what you charge for e-blast, or you just want them to go straight to the website and see how much it costs?
Well, both. We'll do it all. Email. With our website is actually at emediagc.com.
Emediagc.com.
Emediagc.com, and that'll take them to more information about what we do and how we do it. With the email campaigns, those are actually $1 per 1,000.
$1 per 1,000, a lot cheaper than a postage stamp for 1,000. Yeah,
that's for sure.
So many.
And so we've been trying to make sure we get that right. Our walking billboard campaigns, they'll find more information about that. Our walking billboards.
I think that is so unique. And again, he's going to be doing flying billboards with drones. So let's be looking for that, but get out of the way until they get these safety measures. So thanks for being with us, Fred, today.
Thank you.
All right. Dianne Andrews in Black and White. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Your host of Dianne Andrews in Black and White, a statewide program and on YouTube. Watch us. You'll see an HIV positive person's journey. You'll hear us make a telephone call to a Shia Muslim in Baghdad, Iraq. You'll also see the vice president of Lamar Billboard Advertising come in and talk about how advertising can make you more successful. Come on and watch Dianne Andrews in Black and White. You'll be happy you did.
Order your copies now of Dianne Andrews' latest books, Third Man Out, a suspenseful mystery by Dianne Andrews, and Gumbo for the Heart, 25 stories of faith, hope, and charity, both available now on Amazon.com.